Ever feel a sadness you can't quite name? A low thrum beneath the surface of your days, not quite despair, but a persistent, ineffable melancholy that no amount of scrolling, buzzing notifications, or fleeting distractions seems to truly dispel. Perhaps it's a sense of being utterly overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information, the relentless pace of modern life, the digital clamor that constantly vies for your attention, leaving you feeling strangely empty even amidst the noise. Or maybe it's the quiet anxiety that creeps in during the small hours, a profound loneliness despite being constantly connected, a yearning for something more substantial, something genuinely meaningful, in a world that often feels transient and superficial. This particular flavor of human disquiet, this nameless ache, isn't unique to our hyper-connected, fast-paced world. Far from it. Imagine, if you will, the bustling, often chaotic streets of 17th century Oxford, where a brilliant scholar named Robert Burton grappled with these very same sensations. He felt it so acutely, so profoundly, that he dedicated his entire life to dissecting, understanding, and ultimately cataloging this universal human experience in his colossal, eccentric masterpiece, The Anatomy of Melancholy. Burton, surrounded by his ancient texts and the relatively slow rhythm of his era, felt the same gnawing questions, the same pervasive sadness, the same existential dread that many of us attribute solely to the pressures of our modern existence. He spent decades poring over philosophy, medicine, theology, and history, convinced that by charting every conceivable manifestation and cause of melancholy, he could offer some balm, some understanding to those who felt its oppressive weight. His work stands as a monumental testament to the enduring, unchanging nature of the human spirit's struggles. It reminds us in no uncertain terms that the heart of humanity beats with the same anxieties, the same longing for peace, the same susceptibility to overwhelming sorrow, regardless of the technological advancements or social structures that define an age. The specific triggers may change from fear of divine judgment to the fear of missing out, from plague to pandemic, from monarchical decree to algorithmic manipulation, but the core feelings remain hauntingly, beautifully, tragically the same. Yet, Burton was not alone in his profound introspection, nor was his book the only beacon guiding us through the dark woods of the human condition from that distant past. For as we stand here today, caught between the endless scroll of our phones and the ceaseless hum of urban life, perpetually rushing from one obligation to the next, often feeling more like cogs in an enormous, impersonal machine than individuals with unique souls, we are perhaps even more susceptible to this underlying disquiet. We see fleeting glimpses of beauty, profound wisdom, and meaningful connection in a world that often obscures it. And it is precisely this tension, this enduring human struggle, that another prodigious mind, a near contemporary of Burton's, illuminated with unparalleled brilliance and unsettling prescience, Blaise Pascal. Pascal, a towering figure of the 17th century, a mathematician, physicist, inventor, and philosopher, didn't just observe the human condition, he lived its turmoil with an intensity that few have matched. His masterpiece, Pensées, a collection of profound, unpolished fragments, philosophical musings, and theological reflections, offers a mirror to our own souls, revealing the deep, often unspoken roots of our modern anxieties in timeless existential questions. Pascal wrestled with the same sense of human fragility, the dizzying vastness of the cosmos, the inescapable confrontation with our own mortality, and the desperate search for meaning in a universe that often appears indifferent. He probed the very essence of what it means to be human, to be caught between the infinite and the nothing, to crave happiness while being perpetually distracted and restless. So, here's the promise of our journey together. We will delve into the profound depths of Pascal's Pensées. We will hold this ancient book, weathered by centuries, against the vibrant, fleeting backdrop of our contemporary lives, the endless traffic, the glowing screens, the constant barrage of information, and discover that the wisdom contained within its pages is not merely historical curiosity, but a powerful, living force. We will uncover how Pascal, through his raw honesty and piercing insight, articulated the very feelings of sadness, anxiety, and being overwhelmed that define so much of our modern experience. This video is an invitation to pause, to reflect, to find solace and perhaps even answers in a voice that echoes across 400 years, speaking directly to the human heart's most persistent dilemmas. Can a thinker from so long ago, one who never knew a smartphone or a traffic jam, truly offer us guidance in navigating the complexities of our hyper-modern world, helping us understand that profound sadness we can't quite name? Can Pascal's Pensées offer not just a historical perspective, but a profound, timeless wisdom for our contemporary troubles? Let's find out. Hello, and welcome to what I hope will become a quiet, contemplative corner in your day. I'm so glad you're here, perhaps drawn by the intriguing title, or maybe, like me, you've experienced that peculiar, persistent ache in the soul that hints at a deeper melancholy. It's a feeling that modern life, for all its dazzling distractions and relentless pace, often leaves unaddressed, or worse, labels as something to be immediately fixed. But what if this feeling isn't a flaw, but a profound, ancient part of the human experience, something worth understanding, not just suppressing? That very question led me, quite unexpectedly, to a truly remarkable companion, a book over 400 years old, a sprawling, eccentric, yet deeply empathetic work titled The Anatomy of Melancholy by Robert Burton. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A thick, dense tome from 1621 sounds like the epitome of a stuffy, academic relic. But let me assure you, this isn't some dry historical artifact. Far from it. Burton's Anatomy is, in essence, one of history's most comprehensive and surprisingly modern explorations of what we now broadly term mental health. It's a monumental, intricate map of human sadness, anxiety, loneliness, and despair, penned by a scholar who knew these states intimately himself. He meticulously categorizes, dissects, and attempts to understand every conceivable shade of human sorrow, drawing from philosophy, medicine, theology, astrology, and countless other disciplines, weaving it all into a tapestry that is both scholarly and incredibly personal. My own journey with Burton began during a period when I felt profoundly lost and overwhelmed. It was a time characterized by that peculiar modern paradox, hyperconnectivity, that often masked a deep, underlying sense of isolation. The world felt loud, demanding, and constantly moving, yet within myself there was a quiet, almost deafening emptiness. I was adrift in a sea of information and expectation, struggling to make sense of internal dissonance that defied easy explanation or the quick fixes offered by self-help gurus. It wasn't clinical depression in the modern sense, but a pervasive sense of unease, a melancholy that permeated everything, making the vibrant colors of life seem a little muted, the laughter a little less resonant. I felt like I was shouting into a void, trying to articulate a sadness that felt both universal and intensely private, yet found no echo in the rapid-fire world around me. And then I stumbled upon Burton. Initially, it was the sheer audacity of the title that caught my eye. The Anatomy of Melancholy. Who would undertake such a task? And why? What I discovered within its pages was nothing short of astonishing. This ancient text, written by a reclusive Oxford scholar, became a strange, comforting mirror. Burton, in his intricate, almost obsessive cataloging of human woe, made me feel seen, understood, and crucially, not alone. He spoke of the same anxieties, the same existential dreads, the same struggles with meaning and purpose that I was experiencing, but he spoke of them through the lens of centuries of human thought. It was as if a wise, eccentric, and incredibly well-read old friend had taken my hand and said, "Ah, yes, this feeling. We know this feeling. Come, let me show you its history, its many faces, and perhaps some pathways through it." His words, despite their archaic phrasing and dizzying citations, offered a strange sense of companionship, a quiet reassurance that the human heart, for all its modern complexities, grapples with perennial questions, especially concerning sadness. It was in his relentless pursuit of understanding melancholy, rather than merely curing it, that I found a profound solace. My goal with this series, then, is precisely that: to bridge this chasm of time. We're going to peel back the layers of this fascinating, intimidating, but ultimately deeply human book. We'll distill Burton's vast, often unwieldy knowledge into practical, human insights that resonate with our lives today. We'll explore his perspectives on everything from diet and exercise to philosophy and social connection, all viewed through the lens of understanding and navigating the various forms of melancholy. This isn't about promoting a bygone era or suggesting ancient cures are superior. Instead, it's about rediscovering a rich, forgotten language for our inner lives and reclaiming the idea that contemplating our sadness can be a path to deeper wisdom, not just a problem to be solved. Consider this our shared sanctuary, a safe and empathetic space for exploration. Here, we won't shy away from the difficult questions, nor will we pretend that modern life doesn't present its own unique stressors, but we will approach these topics with curiosity, with compassion, and with the understanding that every human being, at some point, encounters the shadow side of existence. This is a place where we can openly discuss feelings of being lost, overwhelmed, or simply out of sync with the world, knowing that we are in good company, both with each other and with a 400-year-old guide who understood the human heart perhaps better than most. So, settle in, take a deep breath, and let's embark on this journey together into the anatomy of our own melancholic yet resilient spirits. Welcome to Pascal's Pensées Unveiled. In this first chapter, What is Melancholy? Beyond just sadness, we embark on a journey to truly understand a concept often misunderstood, yet profoundly relevant to Pascal's world and our own. To do this, we'll lean heavily on the monumental work of Robert Burton, whose 1621 treatise, The Anatomy of Melancholy, remains an unparalleled exploration of the human mind's darker corners. Burton, writing in an era before modern psychology, saw melancholy not merely as sadness, but as something far more intricate. His core definition is illuminating a kind of dotage without a fever. Now, dotage might sound quaint, but think of it as a state of mental preoccupation, an obsessive brooding, a mind consumed. It's not a fever or a headache, it's an affliction of the asterisk mind asterisk and asterisk spirit asterisk. Imagine your brain getting stuck in a thought loop, constantly replaying worries or regrets, not because of a physical ailment, but because your inner world is just off kilter. It's less like a broken bone and more like a perpetually overcast inner sky, where the sun struggles to break through. This isn't just feeling low, it's a fundamental shift in one's perception and experience of reality. Burton was perceptive enough to realize that melancholy wasn't a single, monolithic experience. He meticulously detailed two main categories. First, there's the temporary, situational melancholy. This is akin to what we'd now call a bad mood, a period of grief, or feeling stressed and overwhelmed. We've all experienced it that week where everything feels a bit flat, or after a significant loss, where life loses its vibrancy for a time. It's a passing storm cloud, eventually giving way to clearer skies. It's a natural human reaction to life's inevitable difficulties, a transient dip in our emotional landscape. However, Burton also recognized a much more pervasive and chronic state. This, for him, was the deeper, more profound form of melancholy, a persistent, almost default state of being. This isn't just a bad week, it's a persistent, gray filter over every experience, a baseline of low-energy disinterest and a general lack of zest for life. It permeates one's personality, affecting thoughts, emotions, and even physical well-being over extended periods. It's less a fatiguing cloud and more like living under a perpetual, heavy fog. So, how does Burton's 17th century view stack up against our modern understanding of mental well-being? The overlaps are profound. His description of chronic melancholy resonates deeply with what we now diagnose as clinical depression. The loss of pleasure in activities, the pervasive sadness, the lethargy, the feelings of worthlessness, these are hallmarks of both. But melancholy, in Burton's broad sense, also touches upon other contemporary concepts. It encompasses aspects of modern anxiety, particularly the rumination and obsessive worry that often accompany a melancholic temperament. Think of the incessant what-ifs or the feeling of an impending doom that dogs one's thoughts. It also brushes against burnout, that profound mental and physical exhaustion where one feels completely drained, running on fumes, disengaged from work and life, a deep fatigue of the soul. And then there's ennui, that distinctly French word for a feeling of listlessness, boredom, and a lack of purpose or interest in life, a profound sense of what's the point. Melancholy can certainly manifest as this existential shrug, a vague dissatisfaction with everything, a search for meaning that consistently comes up empty. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of profound aimlessness, a world devoid of engaging possibilities. Crucially, while acknowledging these deep overlaps, it's also important to differentiate. Burton's melancholy was a grand, all-encompassing umbrella term for a vast spectrum of mental suffering, often viewed through a philosophical and spiritual lens, rather than purely a biological one. While modern clinical depression has specific diagnostic criteria and often a clearer biological understanding, melancholy, as Burton conceived it, allowed for a wider range of expression, including artistic and intellectual leanings, a reflective disposition, and even a certain intellectual grandeur, which we don't always associate with depression today. It's less about a diagnosis and more about a asterisk state of being asterisk, a particular way the mind and spirit engage with the world, for better or for worse. It's this rich, nuanced understanding that makes Burton, and by extension, Pascal's reflections on the human condition, so enduringly powerful. We've explored Pascal's profound insights into the human condition his piercing gaze into our paradoxes and distractions. But to truly appreciate the landscape of the human mind, and to understand the historical context that informed thinkers like Pascal, we must also look at how earlier generations grappled with the very causes of our inner turmoil. This brings us to a fascinating and surprisingly comprehensive perspective from the 17th century, one that predates and, in many ways, complements the philosophical reflections of Pascal. In this chapter, The Causes It's Not All in Your Head, we turn our attention to the vast and intricate web of factors identified by Robert Burton in his monumental work, The Anatomy of Melancholy. Published in 1621, Burton's tome was a groundbreaking attempt to catalog and understand every conceivable cause of mental distress. What's truly remarkable about Burton's approach is its sheer breadth, demonstrating a holistic view of mental health that feels strikingly modern, even 4 centuries later. He didn't just see the mind as an isolated entity, but as part of a complex system intrinsically linked to the body and the world around it. Burton meticulously detailed a myriad of physical causes that could contribute to what he termed melancholy, a broad term encompassing states we might today recognize as depression, anxiety, and various forms of mental unease. He emphasized the profound impact of our physical state on our mental well-being. For instance, he spoke extensively about the crucial role of a proper diet. Consuming too much rich, heavy food or an unbalanced intake of certain foods, he believed, could directly affect the humors of the body, leading to an imbalance that manifested as mental distress. Likewise, he stressed the importance of regular, restorative sleep. A lack of restful slumber, he argued, could fray the nerves, cloud the judgment, and leave the mind vulnerable to dark thoughts. Beyond diet and sleep, Burton also considered environmental factors. He warned against the dangers of stagnant air, advocating for fresh, circulating breezes as vital for mental clarity and emotional equilibrium. And perhaps most presciently for our largely sedentary modern lives, he championed physical activity. Inactivity, or idleness of the body, as he often put it, was a significant culprit, leading to a sluggishness that affected both the physical and mental faculties. He understood that movement, exercise, and engagement with the natural world were not just good for the body, but essential for a healthy mind. But Burton's analysis went far beyond the purely physical. He delved deeply into the psychological and social dimensions of human suffering. He identified potent emotional triggers such as fear and sorrow, recognizing their power to plunge individuals into profound despair. Shame, too, was a significant cause, highlighting the corrosive effect of social judgment and self-reproach. Interestingly, he also recognized the double-edged sword of ambition. While it could drive achievement, its unchecked pursuit could lead to anxiety, frustration, and a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction. His observations on social isolation are particularly poignant. Solitude, when excessive or unwelcome, was seen as a potent contributor to melancholy. Humans, he understood, are social creatures, and the lack of meaningful connection, the feeling of being cut off from one's community, could lead to a deepening of inner gloom. And then there was idleness, not just physical, but mental. A mind left unoccupied, he argued, was a dangerous workshop for negative thoughts, obsessions, and self-pity. Engagement, purpose, and occupation were, for Burton, powerful antidotes to the creeping tendrils of melancholy. To be fair, Burton's compendium also included some causes that reflect the scientific understanding of his time, which might seem esoteric to us today. He pondered the influence of celestial bodies, the stars and planets, on human temperament, a common belief in the Renaissance era. He also discussed the impact of witchcraft and demonic possession. While these elements add a rich historical color to his work, it's crucial to recognize that the vast majority of his observations are grounded in remarkably astute psychological and physiological reasoning that transcends the superstitious beliefs of his age. He was attempting to make sense of everything within the prevailing frameworks of his time, yet his empirical observations often broke through those limits. What resonates most powerfully with us today is Burton's radical insistence that mental well-being is intrinsically linked to physical and social health. He saw the human being as an integrated whole, where diet, exercise, sleep, fresh air, social connection, purpose, and emotional regulation all played vital roles in maintaining psychological equilibrium. His work was a pioneering argument for a holistic approach to mental health, recognizing that our inner world is profoundly shaped by our external circumstances and our biological realities. It's a message that continues to find resonance in contemporary discussions about well-being, lifestyle, and the interconnectedness of mind and body. This comprehensive and empathetic understanding of human suffering, articulated centuries ago, provides a powerful backdrop against which we can further explore Pascal's own contemplations on the depths of human experience and the search for meaning. Welcome to Chapter 3, The Tyranny of Our Thoughts. As we navigate the labyrinthine depths of Pascal's Pensées, we inevitably encounter the profound and often disquieting truths about the human condition. Today, we're going to step slightly off Pascal's direct path, but onto one that brilliantly illuminates his own introspective struggles and resonates with an almost eerie familiarity in our modern age. We're delving into the extraordinary insights of Robert Burton, whose monumental work, The Anatomy of Melancholy, published just decades before Pascal's birth, offers a startlingly prescient and detailed description of what contemporary psychology now terms rumination, overthinking, and anxiety loops. Burton, with a surgeon's precision and a poet's flair, depicted a mind perpetually at war with itself. He speaks of a perpetual siege of gnawing thoughts, an unrelenting internal onslaught where our own intellect, our very capacity for introspection and imagination, transforms from a gift into a tormentor. Imagine the sensation of being utterly trapped within the confines of your own skull, your inner world becoming an echoing chamber where thoughts don't simply pass through, but rather circle back, interrogate, accuse, and replay endlessly. It's not an external enemy pounding at the gates, but an insidious, internal one, a part of us that has somehow become detached and untamed, a relentless inner critic and worry-monger. This experience is vividly captured by the metaphor of a mental hamster wheel, spinning ever faster, generating a dizzying hum of worry, self-doubt, and what-ifs. It's a self-sustaining feedback loop of anxiety that feels impossible to dismount, where the very act of trying to stop the cycle often only seems to accelerate its momentum, consuming energy and peace of mind with each frantic revolution. This isn't merely an antiquated description of an ailment from centuries past. Burton's insights, penned over 400 years ago, leap across the ages and land with striking relevance in the offices of modern therapists worldwide. His perpetual siege perfectly encapsulates the debilitating experience of rumination, those spiraling patterns where thoughts loop endlessly, replaying past conversations with excruciating detail. dissecting every perceived misstep or catastrophizing future events that may never materialize. This profound observation connects directly to cutting-edge psychological approaches. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT for instance, is fundamentally designed to identify and challenge these very cognitive distortions and thought patterns that create and sustain such anxiety loops. It teaches us tangible strategies to break the cycle of that mental hamster wheel by reframing our perspectives, altering our behavioral responses, and developing healthier coping mechanisms. Similarly, the widespread practice of mindfulness offers another powerful antidote. It doesn't aim to forcibly halt the incessant stream of thoughts, but rather to change our relationship with them, to observe them with a detached awareness, like passing clouds in the sky, rather than being swept away and consumed by their storm. It's about consciously choosing to step off the hamster wheel, not through brute force, but through a gentle yet firm disengagement from its compelling motion. Perhaps one of Burton's most compassionate and profoundly insightful observations is his recognition that those most susceptible to this internal tyranny, those who endure this melancholy, are often not the weak-minded or the intellectually sluggish. Quite the opposite. He meticulously noted that melancholics are frequently highly intelligent, endowed with vibrant imaginations, and possess an acute sensitivity to the world around them. It is precisely their profound capacity for deep thought, their rich inner worlds, their heightened awareness, and their empathy that can, paradoxically, make them more vulnerable to these insidious internal sieges. Their minds are simply too powerful, too nuanced, too finely tuned, sometimes lacking the intrinsic mechanisms to switch off, to disengage from the overwhelming flood of information, emotion, and possibility. It's a poignant testament to the intricate complexity of the human spirit, the very qualities that allow for unparalleled creativity, profound understanding, and deep connection can also, if unchecked and untended, lead to immense internal suffering and a profound sense of entrapment. Understanding this timeless perspective on the mind's capacity for self-tyranny helps us immensely in appreciating Pascal's own relentless wrestling with human fragility, our existential anxieties, and our inherent, often desperate, search for meaning amidst the internal chaos. It powerfully underscores that the struggle against the tyranny of our own thoughts is not a modern malady, but a timeless, universal aspect of the human condition, one that has been observed, analyzed, and grappled with by some of history's most brilliant and introspective minds. Welcome back to our exploration of Blaise Pascal's Pensées. While Pascal's fragments illuminate the human condition in grand philosophical and theological terms, the depths of our inner turmoil are often vividly illustrated by complementary perspectives. In this chapter, Love, Sickness, and Broken Hearts, we make a fascinating detour, not directly into Pascal's own thoughts on romantic love, which isn't a central theme for him, but into the monumental work of his contemporary, Robert Burton, and his The Anatomy of Melancholy We'll dive into his celebrated section, Love, Melancholy, treating heartbreak and obsessive love not as fleeting emotions, but as a serious and powerful affliction. Much like Pascal's insights into human misery, Burton's work reveals the profound depths of our psychological vulnerability. Burton, writing in the early 17th century, approached love with a physician's meticulous eye and a scholar's expansive knowledge. He viewed its darker manifestations as a genuine disease, refusing to dismiss a broken heart as mere sentimentality. For Burton, love melancholy was a formidable adversary, capable of ravaging both mind and body. He catalogued its symptoms with astonishing detail, creating a portrait that, centuries later, still resonates with startling accuracy. At its core, love melancholy manifests first as a consuming obsession. The beloved becomes the sole focus of the sufferer's thoughts, an inescapable presence dominating every waking moment and infiltrating dreams. Burton describes this relentless preoccupation. The lover's mind incessantly replays interactions, scrutinizes gestures, and fantasizes about future encounters, often neglecting duties, friendships, and even basic self-care. It's a mental tyranny where the will is subjugated to the beloved's image, driving out all other considerations. This isn't just strong affection, it's an involuntary, almost pathological fixation. From obsession springs a corrosive jealousy. The mere thought of the beloved with another, even a fleeting suspicion, becomes a torment of the soul. Burton paints vivid pictures of lovers consumed by a hellish torture, imagining rivals, suffering sleepless nights, and twisting innocent actions into betrayals. This jealousy isn't rational, it's a fiery emotion that warps perception, creating specters of infidelity where none exist, or amplifying minor slights into catastrophic offenses. It's a self-inflicted agony born from insecurity and the desperate desire for exclusive possession. The physical toll of this emotional tempest is equally severe. Loss of appetite is common. The love-struck individual often wastes away, unable to find solace in food. Sleep, that balm of hurt minds, frequently deserts them, leaving them haggard, restless, and increasingly susceptible to despair. Burton notes a certain leanness of body, hollow eyes, a sad, dejected countenance, observing how inner turmoil etches itself onto outward appearance. Headaches, heart palpitations, sighing, groaning, the physical manifestations are numerous, all testifying to profound internal disquiet. Then comes despair. The lover's woe can sink into a profound, crushing sadness, a sense of hopelessness that darkens the entire world. When love is unrequited, or when separation occurs, the sufferer can fall into an abyss of sorrow, convinced life has lost all meaning, viewing their future as bleak and empty. Burton understood this not as mere sadness, but as a deep, pervasive melancholia, often accompanied by suicidal ideation, seeing death as the only release from suffering. He truly treated this as a severe, potentially fatal illness. Burton, with a surgeon's precision, delineates the fine line between passionate love and destructive obsession, a distinction profoundly relevant today. Passionate love, in its healthy form, enriches life. But when it crosses that invisible threshold, it becomes a parasitic force, a disease of the mind that consumes the self. It transitions from benevolent affection into a tyrannical master, dissolving the individual's identity, independence, and well-being. The self becomes entirely absorbed into the object of affection, losing its own boundaries, its own will, its own purpose outside of the beloved. This destructive obsession reduces a person to a shadow, their happiness, their very existence, hinging precariously on the presence and favor of another. It's a state of profound self-loss. What makes Burton's anatomy so enduringly fascinating is not just his encyclopedic cataloging of symptoms, but his surprisingly witty, cynical, yet deeply compassionate observations on love and relationships. He's a master of irony, often quoting classical philosophers, poets, and physicians to both validate and poke fun at the absurdities of human passion. He'll wryly suggest cures that are both practical and comically impossible, acknowledging the futility of reason against such a potent affliction. Yet amidst the cynicism, there's profound empathy. He understands the pain, the irrationality, the desperate hope that drives these afflicted souls. He sees the suffering not as a moral failing, but as a human vulnerability, a testament to the powerful, often uncontrollable forces that shape our inner lives. His observations are laced with a kind of weary wisdom, acknowledging the perennial recurrence of these patterns across history. Connecting Burton's centuries-old insights to our contemporary understanding, we find striking parallels. His love melancholy resonates powerfully with modern discussions around concepts like limerence. Limerence, as described by psychologists, is an involuntary state of mind resulting from romantic attraction, characterized by an obsessive need for reciprocal affection, intrusive thoughts, and intense emotional dependence. It mirrors Burton's descriptions of inescapable preoccupation, the anxious pursuit of attention, and the crushing despair when reciprocation is withheld. Both Burton and modern psychology recognize this as a state distinct from healthy love, often marked by anxiety, idealization, and fluctuating hope and fear. Furthermore, Burton's detailed analysis of obsessive love offers a historical lens through which to view modern attachment style. Individuals with anxious, preoccupied attachment, for example, often exhibit many of the traits Burton describes: a desperate craving for proximity, an intense fear of abandonment, hypervigilance to perceived slights, and a tendency to idealize partners while simultaneously fearing rejection. Burton's love melancholy can be seen as an extreme manifestation of these insecure attachment patterns, where the fear of loss and the need for validation become overwhelming, leading to the destructive obsession he so meticulously documented. Most importantly, Burton's serious treatment of love melancholy validates the very real pain of heartbreak. In a world that often trivializes romantic disappointment or dismisses it as mere emotional immaturity, Burton affirms that the agony of unrequited love or profound loss is a genuine form of suffering. It impacts mental health, physical well-being, and one's capacity to function. His work reminds us that while emotions are intangible, their impact on our lives is profoundly tangible, deserving of compassion and understanding. He saw it as a legitimate illness, requiring both psychological and physiological remedies, long before such terms were commonplace. Just as Pascal grapples with the misère de l'homme, the misery of man, his inherent restlessness and constant search for diversion from contemplating his own mortality, so too does Burton delve into a specific, potent form of human misery, the torment of a heart consumed by love. Both authors, in their distinct ways, illuminate the irrationality, the vulnerability, and the profound suffering woven into the fabric of the human experience. While Pascal seeks divine answers to these fundamental human dilemmas, Burton offers a comprehensive, earthly diagnosis of our emotional ailments. Their combined insights offer a richer, more nuanced understanding of the fragile, complex beings that we are, constantly navigating the turbulent waters of our inner lives. In Chapter 5, we plunge into the heart of human unease, existential dread, and the relentless search for meaning. Pascal's era, the 17th century, was a world steeped in faith. Religion wasn't just an aspect of life, it was the very framework upon which existence was built. The Church offered profound comfort, a promise of salvation, and a clear moral compass in a turbulent world. Yet paradoxically, it was also the crucible of immense anxiety. For many, the fear of eternal damnation was a palpable, terrifying reality. The weight of sin, the uncertainty of God's grace, and the ever-present question of one's spiritual destiny created a deep-seated apprehension that permeated daily life. Imagine a world where your ultimate fate, heaven or hell, was constantly debated, preached, and pondered, with every action, every thought, every doubt potentially tilting the scales. This wasn't a philosophical abstraction, it was a deeply personal, often terrifying, spiritual struggle. How does this resonate with us today in a largely secularized society? The external forms may have changed, but the internal anxieties persist, perhaps even magnified by the absence of a universally accepted framework. The spiritual anxieties Pascal grappled with have translated into what we now recognize as existential dread. That gnawing feeling that life is fundamentally without inherent meaning, that we are merely tiny, insignificant specks in an indifferent universe. It's the unsettling realization of our own finitude, the ultimate solitude of consciousness, and the terrifying freedom to create our own values in a void. We also see echoes of this historical spiritual scrutiny in modern phenomena like imposter syndrome, the relentless internal voice that tells us we are not good enough, that our achievements are undeserved, that we will eventually be exposed as frauds. Where once people feared divine judgment for their spiritual shortcomings, now we fear the judgment of our peers, our employers, or even ourselves for not measuring up to an often unrealistic ideal of success or authenticity. And perhaps most powerfully, the pressure to find one's purpose has become an all-consuming quest. In a world stripped of ready-made answers, we are burdened with the immense task of constructing our own meaning, often feeling lost and inadequate when that purpose remains elusive. The fear isn't just about eternal damnation, it's about leading a life without significance, a life unfulfilled. Pascal himself, a brilliant mathematician and theologian, was deeply familiar with the nuances of faith and doubt. His Pensées aren't simply a theological treatise. They are a raw, unvarnished exploration of the human heart grappling with the divine. While he doesn't offer self-help advice in the modern sense, his meticulous introspection provides a profound framework for understanding the difference between healthy self-reflection and paralyzing scrupulosity. Healthy self-reflection, as implicit in Pascal's own rigorous examination, involves an honest, humble assessment of one's beliefs, motivations, and actions aimed at growth and alignment with truth. It's a searching inquiry, driven by a genuine desire for understanding and improvement. But then there is scrupulosity, an obsessive, pathological form of guilt, often fixated on perceived sins or moral imperfections that are disproportionate to their actual significance. In Pascal's time, this could manifest as an agonizing fear of committing blasphemy or failing to achieve sufficient grace. Today, it might appear as an unrelenting self-criticism, a constant feeling of not being enough, or an inability to forgive oneself for minor perceived flaws. Pascal's work, by laying bare the complexities of faith, reason, and human frailty, encourages us not to shy away from difficult questions, but to approach them with sincerity, recognizing that genuine spiritual struggle is part of the human journey, distinct from the debilitating grip of neurotic anxiety. Ultimately, what Pascal so powerfully articulates is the universal human need for meaning. We are beings who crave coherence, narrative, and significance. We instinctively search for something beyond the mundane, a transcendent purpose that elevates our fleeting existence. The pain that comes from its absence is perhaps the most profound suffering a human can experience. Pascal famously described humanity as being suspended between two infinities, the infinitely large and the infinitely small, perpetually restless, forever seeking a stable ground that eludes us within the material world. He saw our diversions, our entertainment, our ceaseless activities as desperate attempts to escape the crushing weight of this existential void. The absence of meaning isn't just an intellectual problem, it's a deep ache in the soul, a spiritual hunger that no amount of worldly success or pleasure can truly satisfy. It's the silent scream of a species yearning for an answer to the question why. For Pascal, the ultimate answer lay in the divine, a solution he meticulously built towards. But even if one doesn't arrive at his specific conclusion, his exploration of the problem itself remains breathtakingly relevant. He forces us to confront the abyss, to acknowledge that fundamental emptiness before we can even begin to fill it. He shows us that this search for meaning isn't a luxury, it's a fundamental aspect of the human condition, a testament to our uniquely conscious existence, capable of both immense thought and profound despair. This profound inquiry into our spiritual and existential anxieties, initiated centuries ago by Pascal, continues to echo within us, inviting us to examine our own desperate quests for purpose in a vast and often perplexing world. We now turn a crucial page in our exploration, moving from the profound diagnosis of the human condition, so eloquently dissected by Pascal, to the surprisingly practical and holistic remedies offered by his contemporary Robert Burton. In this chapter, The Cure, Part 1, Tending to the Body, we delve into Burton's remarkable prescriptions for melancholy, remedies that, despite being formulated centuries ago, resonate with startling clarity with much of what we consider modern wellness advice today. Burton understood that before we can address the soul, we must first tend to its earthly vessel. His approach begins with the most fundamental aspects of our physical existence. First among these foundational remedies is the importance of a balanced diet and, crucially, the simple joy of eating with friends. Burton meticulously detailed the effects of various foods on the body's humors, urging a moderation that would feel familiar to any contemporary nutritionist. He advocated for fresh, easily digestible foods, advising against excessive richness or heavy meals that could burden the stomach and, by extension, the mind. But his wisdom extended beyond mere nutritional content. For Burton, the act of eating was not solely about sustenance, it was a communal ritual. He stressed the therapeutic power of sharing meals with pleasant company, transforming a necessary bodily function into an occasion for connection, laughter, and shared enjoyment. The conviviality of a shared table, he argued, could lift the spirits, distract from brooding thoughts, and foster a sense of belonging, a concept that underlies much of our modern understanding of mindful eating and the social determinants of health. Complementing a wholesome diet, Burton vehemently stressed the necessity of moderate exercise, fresh air, and spending time in nature. He recognized that a sedentary lifestyle was a fertile ground for melancholy, causing the body's vital energies to stagnate. His prescription wasn't for strenuous athletic feats, but for regular, gentle activity, walking, gardening, or engaging in light, enjoyable pursuits. Crucially, this exercise was to be undertaken outdoors, immersing oneself in the restorative power of the natural world. Fresh air, sunlight, and the simple beauty of a field or a forest were seen not merely as pleasant backdrops, but as active ingredients in the cure. This keen observation of nature's balm anticipates contemporary concepts like forest bathing and the widely acknowledged benefits of green spaces for mental well-being, highlighting nature as a sanctuary where the mind can find peace and perspective. Equally vital to Burton's physical regimen was the restorative power of good sleep and maintaining a gentle routine. He understood that melancholy often shattered the natural rhythm of sleep, exacerbating the sufferer's distress. His advice centered on cultivating habits conducive to restful slumber, ensuring a comfortable bed, avoiding late-night anxieties, and allowing the body and mind sufficient time to unwind. He recognized sleep as the ultimate reset button, a period during which the body repairs itself and the mind processes its daily burdens. Beyond sleep, Burton advocated for the subtle comfort of a consistent, gentle routine. Not a rigid, inflexible schedule, but rather a predictable rhythm to daily life that could provide a sense of order and control, reducing the anxiety that often accompanies a chaotic or aimless existence. This foresight into the psychological benefits of routine mirrors modern advice on sleep hygiene and the importance of structure for mental stability. Finally, Burton's prescriptions reached beyond purely physiological needs to embrace the powerful medicine of sensory and social engagement, music, laughter, and enjoyable company. He regarded music as a sovereign remedy, capable of penetrating the deepest gloom, stirring the affections, and expelling sorrow. Whether a cheerful tune or a calming melody, music's ability to alter mood was undeniable. Laughter, too, was elevated to a therapeutic status. He acknowledged its profound capacity to release tension and bring moments of unadulterated joy. And while solitude could be contemplative, Burton cautioned against its excesses, prescribing instead the medicine of pleasant and witty companions. The warmth of good fellowship, engaging conversation, and shared amusement were seen as potent antidotes to isolation and despair, reinforcing the ancient wisdom that humans are inherently social creatures who thrive on connection. These physical remedies, a balanced diet, outdoor exercise, restorative sleep, and the joyful communion of music, laughter, and friendship, form the cornerstone of Burton's comprehensive approach. They are the essential groundwork, the tending to the body, without which, he believed, any attempt to heal the mind would be largely in vain. It's a testament to his profound understanding of human nature that these practical, grounded suggestions remain remarkably relevant, almost prescriptive, for navigating the stresses and melancholies of our own modern age. They remind us that sometimes the most profound cures begin with the simplest acts of self-care and connection. Welcome back as we continue our exploration of Pascal's Pensées and its profound connections to the human experience, particularly the enduring struggle with melancholy. In our last segment, we touched upon the historical context and philosophical underpinnings of this persistent condition. Now, as we delve deeper into the cure, Part 2, Mending the Mind, we turn our attention to the remarkably prescient strategies put forth by Robert Burton in his monumental work, The Anatomy of Melancholy. Burton, writing centuries ago, laid out cognitive and behavioral principles for managing this pervasive gloom, offering practical, actionable advice centered on two powerful and interconnected principles: staying active and staying connected. At the very heart of Burton's therapeutic philosophy lies a deceptively simple, yet profoundly impactful injunction: be not solitary, be not idle. This isn't merely a quaint suggestion, it is, in Burton's view, the bedrock of recovery from melancholy. Be not solitary directly confronts the isolating nature of the condition. When one is consumed by sadness or despair, The natural inclination can often be to retreat, to withdraw. Yet, Burton understood this isolation only deepens the abyss, removing us from vital interactions and perspectives. Unchecked solitude allows the mind to ruminate endlessly, amplifying every negative thought. Similarly, Be Not Idle addresses the destructive power of inactivity. For Burton, an idle mind provides fertile ground for melancholy to flourish, leaving it free to wander into depressive spirals, conjure up imagined threats, and dwell incessantly on perceived failures or anxieties. By actively advocating against both solitude and idleness, Burton posits a dynamic, engaged approach to mental well-being, urging us to step out of internal prisons and into the world. Expanding on this foundation, Burton offers concrete advice on how to challenge and redirect the torrent of negative thoughts that so often accompany melancholy. His strategy is remarkably sophisticated for its time, anticipating modern cognitive behavioral therapy. He understood that the melancholic mind is often trapped in a cycle of rumination, replaying distressing scenarios or catastrophizing future events. His solution? To engage the mind with an absorbing task or a compelling study. This isn't about mere distraction, it's about actively displacing negative thought patterns by replacing them with positive, constructive ones. When you immerse yourself in a complex problem, a fascinating book, or a new skill, your cognitive resources are fully occupied, leaving less mental bandwidth available for dark, intrusive thoughts. The act of learning or focusing on a specific task demands attention, problem-solving, and often a sense of progression. This engagement breaks the cycle of passive rumination, providing a fresh focus and a tangible sense of purpose, thereby weakening the hold of destructive mental habits. Burton goes further, delineating the immense therapeutic value of specific types of engagement. He champions meaningful work, the kind of labor that offers a sense of accomplishment and contributes to something larger than oneself. This isn't about drudgery, but about purposeful activity that builds self-esteem and provides vital structure. Beyond work, he extols the virtues of reading, learning, and creative pursuits. Reading, for instance, offers not just escapism, but also new perspectives and a broadening of understanding. Learning ignites curiosity and fosters a sense of growth and mastery, directly countering feelings of helplessness. Creative pursuits, be it painting, writing, music, or crafting, provide a powerful outlet for expression, a means to channel inner turmoil into something meaningful. They offer a unique kind of flow state where the individual is so completely absorbed in the activity that self-consciousness and negative thoughts temporarily recede. These activities are active agents in reshaping the mind, cultivating new pathways, and nurturing a sense of self-worth and engagement with the world. Perhaps one of Burton's most powerful and enduring recommendations, a testament to his profound understanding of human nature, is his counsel to help others as the quickest way to forget one's own troubles. This seemingly counterintuitive advice cuts to the core of both our individual and collective well-being. When we are consumed by our own suffering, our focus becomes intensely internal and self-referential. By actively seeking to alleviate the burdens of others, we are forced to shift our perspective outward. This act of altruism does several things simultaneously. It provides a profound sense of purpose, reminding us of our capacity for positive impact. It fosters empathy, allowing us to connect with the struggles of others, which can often put our own difficulties into a new, less overwhelming light. Crucially, it creates genuine connection, combating the very solitude that Burton warned against. The joy of giving, the gratitude of the recipient, and the shared humanity experienced in the act of service are incredibly potent antidotes to self-pity and despair. Helping others is a powerful psychological mechanism that diverts attention from self-focused rumination, generates positive emotions, and strengthens social bonds, thereby providing a dynamic, outward-looking path to healing. In essence, Burton's wisdom, predating modern psychology by centuries, provides a holistic roadmap for managing melancholy. From the foundational principle of active engagement and connection to the specific tactics of redirecting negative thoughts through study and creative expression, and culminating in the profound act of helping others, he offers a comprehensive strategy for mending the mind. His insights echo Pascal's own observations about the human condition, reminding us that purposeful and outward-looking engagement can indeed be a powerful balm for the soul, steering us towards a more engaged and meaningful existence. And so, we arrive at our final chapter, a beacon of profound comfort and understanding, drawing upon the enduring wisdom of a man who dared to dissect the very depths of human sorrow, Robert Burton. Titled Burton's Final Wisdom, You Are Not Alone, this segment aims to wrap our journey not in despair, but in a shared embrace, revealing that melancholy, in all its myriad forms, is not a personal failing, a solitary curse, but a universal human condition, and that within this recognition lies the first, most crucial step towards healing. Imagine a scholar, cloistered within the ancient walls of Oxford, grappling with his own inner demons. This was Robert Burton, the brilliant, complex mind behind the monumental work, The Anatomy of Melancholy. For 40 years, from its first publication in 1621 until his death, Burton revised, expanded, and refined this magnum opus. But what compelled him to undertake such an exhaustive, encyclopedic task? It was, quite simply, his own suffering. Burton confessed that he wrote the Anatomy to ease my mind, a direct, poignant admission that he was both the diligent doctor meticulously cataloging every symptom and cure, and the ailing patient desperately seeking solace. His great work was, in essence, an act of self-therapy, a vast, erudite outpouring born from his personal struggle with melancholy. This makes his wisdom all the more potent, all the more relatable. He didn't merely theorize about sorrow, he lived it, breathed it, and then, with extraordinary intellectual courage, charted its intricate landscape for others. The profound comfort in Burton's work, and indeed in this final wisdom, stems from a simple, yet utterly transformative truth: you are not alone. Across centuries, cultures, and continents, countless millions have felt the exact same way you might be feeling in moments of profound sadness, listlessness, or despair. Burton's vast compendium draws on classical philosophy, ancient medicine, contemporary science, and countless anecdotes to illustrate the omnipresence of melancholy throughout human history. From emperors to poets, from scholars to the common person, he shows us that this internal struggle is part of the fabric of the human experience. To understand this is to dismantle the isolating walls of shame and singularity that melancholy often builds around us. It's an invitation to join a timeless, universal company, a fellowship of shared human experience. Knowing that a Roman philosopher, a Renaissance artist, or a Victorian intellectual wrestled with the same amorphous dread, the same pervasive sadness, offers an immediate, tangible sense of connection. It's a powerful antidote to the feeling that one is uniquely afflicted or somehow broken. Burton's approach, much like a physician's, was to systematically examine the anatomy of melancholy. He believed in the power of knowledge and self-awareness to disarm fear and despair. For him, naming, describing, and categorizing the various causes, symptoms, and potential remedies for melancholy was a crucial step towards mastering it. When we understand the mechanisms at play, when we can identify the physiological, psychological, or environmental factors contributing to our state, the amorphous terror begins to dissipate. Fear often thrives in the unknown, in the shapeless shadows of ignorance. But shining the light of knowledge upon these shadows, giving them form and definition, takes away much of their power. By dissecting the condition, laying bare its components, Burton provides a framework for understanding not just melancholy in general, but our own individual experience of it. This self-awareness, fostered by knowledge, allows us to move from passive suffering to active engagement, from being overwhelmed by a nameless dread to recognizing a condition that can be understood, managed, and perhaps even eased. It teaches us that our inner landscape, however turbulent, is not entirely alien territory. This journey through the shared landscape of human emotion, guided by Burton's compassionate intellect, culminates in a profoundly hopeful note. It is a celebration of the enduring resilience of the human spirit. While melancholy may be a constant companion for many, it does not have to be a permanent master. Understanding its nature, recognizing its universality, and engaging in the brave act of self-awareness are not guarantees of instant cure, but they are indispensable tools for navigating its currents. Burton, despite his own struggles, never entirely succumbed to despair. His very act of writing, of seeking to help others by meticulously cataloging his own pain, is a testament to hope. It reminds us that even in the deepest troughs of sorrow, there is always the potential for uplift, for connection, for finding meaning and beauty in the world. The journey is indeed timeless, a shared inheritance of joy and sorrow, light and shadow. But within this shared journey, within the quiet understanding that you are not alone, lies immense strength, a collective resilience that has seen humanity through every conceivable challenge. So, take comfort in this profound wisdom. Your feelings, your struggles, your moments of profound introspection are part of the vast, intricate tapestry of human experience, connecting you to all who have come before and all who will follow. And in that connection, there is always hope. You've journeyed with us through complex ideas, explored the human condition, and contemplated the depths of introspection. Now, it's one thing to discuss these profound insights, but quite another to weave them into the very fabric of our daily existence. Inspired by the holistic wisdom that underpinned Burton's quests for a balanced mind, and in the spirit of active engagement with our inner and outer worlds, we've designed a practical week-long challenge, your 7-day Anatomy of Well-Being plan. This isn't about perfection or adding another overwhelming task to your busy schedule. Instead, consider this a gentle invitation, a series of small, manageable steps designed to help you consciously cultivate well-being across different facets of your life. It's an opportunity to apply the principles of mindful living and self-awareness directly to your own experiences, fostering a sense of peace and presence, much like finding clarity amidst the vastness of Pascal's contemplations. Each step is a deliberate act of care, a moment to re-engage with what truly sustains you. Let's begin this journey. For days 1 and 2, we focus on the body. Our physical vessel is the foundation of our experience, and nurturing it is a powerful act of self-respect. Your challenge for these 2 days is twofold. First, go for a 20-minute walk in nature. This isn't a power hike or a race against the clock. It's an opportunity to disconnect from screens and reconnect with the natural world around you. Find a local park, a quiet trail, or even just a tree-lined street. As you walk, engage your senses. Notice the texture of the leaves, the subtle shift in the breeze, the sounds of birds, the scent of damp earth or blooming flowers. Let your gaze wander, allowing your mind to simply observe without judgment. This practice of mindful walking can ground you, reduce stress, and remind you of the simple, enduring beauty that exists beyond our human constructs. It's a moment of deliberate presence, a respite from the constant mental chatter. Second, cook one nourishing meal from scratch. This doesn't mean embarking on a gourmet culinary adventure. It means choosing fresh ingredients and preparing a simple, healthy dish with your own hands. Perhaps it's a vibrant salad, a hearty soup, or a simple stir-fry. The emphasis is on the act of creation, the conscious choice of feeding yourself with intention. Feel the textures of the vegetables, smell the herbs as you chop them, observe the transformation as ingredients combine. This isn't just about nutrition, it's about connecting with the source of your sustenance and investing time in a fundamental act of self-care. It's a tangible way to honor your body and your well-being. Remember, you have 2 days to complete these 2 activities, allowing for flexibility and mindful engagement with each. Moving into days 3 and 4, our focus shifts to the mind. Just as we nourish the body, we must also cultivate our inner landscape, providing stimulation and space for reflection. Your challenges here are: first, dedicate 30 minutes to an absorbing hobby or book. In a world of constant distractions and shallow scrolling, intentionally immersing yourself in something deeply engaging is a revolutionary act. Pick up that novel you've been meaning to read, delve into a craft, play a musical instrument, solve a puzzle, or explore a topic that genuinely fascinates you. The key is absorbing something that captures your full attention, allowing you to lose yourself in the activity. This isn't passive consumption, it's active engagement that sharpens your focus, stimulates creativity, and offers a refreshing escape from the mundane. It's a deliberate exercise in mental presence, much like Pascal's own deep dives into philosophical inquiry. Second, start a simple journal for your thoughts. No need for elegant prose or profound insights. This is simply a space for your thoughts to land, a mirror for your inner world. Grab a notebook and a pen, and for a few minutes each day, jot down whatever comes to mind. What's on your mind? What are you feeling? What observations have you made? There's no right or wrong way to do this. The act of externalizing your thoughts can bring clarity, help you process emotions, and deepen your self-understanding. It's a quiet conversation with yourself, a way to map the contours of your consciousness, and a powerful tool for introspection, echoing the self-examination Pascal valued so highly. Again, spread these 2 activities over the course of the 2 days. All right, we've journeyed through the intricate landscape of Pascal's Pensées, a work that, despite its age, resonates with astonishing clarity today. As we close, let's distill its profound wisdom into 3 essential, timeless truths, a practical masterclass from a 17th century genius. These aren't abstract philosophical musings, they are actionable insights, powerful enough to reshape our approach to well-being. Our first truth, perhaps the most comforting and validating, is this: your feelings are valid and human. Melancholy, The sickness Pascal knew well isn't a personal failure or weakness, but an intrinsic part of the human condition. Pascal, a brilliant mind, understood that sorrow, doubt, and ennui are not anomalies to be suppressed, but inherent aspects of our existence. His writings remind us it's okay not to be okay, that our emotional states ebb and flow as a natural rhythm, not a defect. When that familiar weight descends, remember Pascal's quiet acknowledgement, "You are not alone." It connects you to a universal human thread across centuries. Embrace your full emotional spectrum. They are authentic markers of your human self. To deny them is to deny a part of who you are. This radical acceptance offers immense liberation, allowing us to view our inner landscape with compassion, fostering a kinder relationship with ourselves. Your melancholy isn't a problem to be fixed, it's a shared human experience that, when acknowledged, can open pathways to deeper self-awareness and connection. The second truth, often overlooked today, is powerful. Your mind and body are one. Tending to your physical health is a non-negotiable part of mental health. Pascal, despite his own chronic illnesses, recognized the profound interconnectedness of our physical and psychological states, that a healthy mind links inextricably to a healthy body. We often compartmentalize these aspects, treating our minds as separate entities to be fixed with therapy or introspection alone, while neglecting the fundamental vessel that carries it. Pascal's ancient perspective is remarkably prescient, echoing modern neuroscience and psychology. Adequate sleep, nourishing food, regular movement, and even simple exposure to nature, these aren't just lifestyle choices. They are foundational pillars for mental well-being. When we neglect our physical selves, we create fertile ground for mental distress. Fatigue, brain fog, and irritability accompanying poor physical habits aren't just annoyances, they are direct impacts on cognitive and emotional resilience. This truth is a call to holistic self-care. It's a reminder that caring for your physical body isn't a luxury, but a vital responsibility to your mental health. It grounds you, provides energy, and helps regulate the very neurochemicals that influence mood and thought. So, next time you feel your mind struggling, consider the state of your body. A good night's rest or a brisk walk might be just as potent as a deep philosophical reflection. This integration, this understanding of ourselves as whole beings, is a cornerstone of true well-being. Finally, we arrive at our third, and perhaps most empowering, truth: action is the antidote. The best way out of your head is to engage with the world through connection and purpose. Pascal, despite his introspection, understood the paralyzing nature of excessive self-reflection and diversion, the pursuit of distractions to avoid deeper anxieties. His insight offers a powerful path. Rather than getting lost in our thoughts, we must actively participate in life. This means forging meaningful connections, finding purpose beyond ourselves, and contributing to something greater. Connecting with others breaks free from the isolation that often accompanies melancholy. Shared experiences, mutual support, and simple acts of listening or being heard can be profoundly healing. Engaging in purposeful action, work, volunteering, hobbies, creative pursuits gives structure and meaning to our days. It pulls us out of rumination by directing energy outwards, fostering accomplishment and contribution. This isn't about avoiding our thoughts entirely, but about balancing introspection with active engagement. It's about finding that sweet spot where thought informs action and action enriches thought. Pascal's wisdom isn't a call to mindlessness, but a strategic redirection of focus. When we serve, create, learn, or build, We transcend anxieties and tap into a deeper wellspring of satisfaction and meaning. It's in this active engagement with the world that we often find the joy and peace that elude us when we remain solely within the confines of our own minds. These three truths: valid emotions, the mind-body link, and purposeful action with connection, are not just historical footnotes. They are living principles, vibrant and relevant, offering a roadmap for navigating the human experience with greater wisdom and resilience. Pascal, from his 17th century perch, offers us not a complex philosophical system, but profound, practical guidelines for a more integrated, meaningful, and healthier life. His insights remind us that the human condition, with all its struggles, also holds immense potential for growth, connection, and profound joy if we approach it with understanding, intention, and willingness to engage. Let these truths be your companions on your own journey towards well-being. As our intellectual voyage through the profound depths of Pascal's Pensées draws to a close, it becomes undeniably clear that the thoughts, anxieties, and spiritual yearnings Blaise Pascal articulated centuries ago resonate with an astonishing clarity and force in our contemporary world. His insights into the human condition, our perpetual search for meaning, our struggles with faith and doubt, and the often overlooked grandeur and misery of our existence, truly provide a timeless mirror for the soul. This exploration, however, isn't meant to be a solitary endpoint. Rather, it is designed to be a vibrant beginning, an invitation to a continuous dialogue, a shared journey of intellectual and spiritual discovery that we can collectively embark upon, fostering a community rooted in curiosity and mutual enlightenment. Now, as we reflect on the rich tapestry of wisdom we've encountered, particularly the astute observations brought to light from figures like Burton, I am genuinely eager to hear your individual perspectives. Specifically, what was the most surprisingly modern piece of advice from Burton that truly struck a chord with you? Perhaps it offered a fresh lens through which to view a current dilemma, or perhaps it validated a feeling you've long held but never quite articulated. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts, your interpretations, and your personal connections in the comments section below. Your unique voice is an invaluable thread in the fabric of this burgeoning community, and it's through these diverse contributions that our collective understanding deepens and expands. Your insights are not just comments, they are contributions to an ongoing living conversation that helps bridge the chasm between ancient wisdom and modern life. Let us learn from one another, challenge one another respectfully, and grow together in this shared space of intellectual curiosity. If this particular exploration, this deep dive into the profound and often challenging world of timeless philosophical wisdom has resonated with you on a personal or intellectual level, if it has ignited new sparks of thought, offered moments of quiet contemplation, or even just provided a fresh perspective on the human experience, then I sincerely encourage you to subscribe to this channel. By becoming a subscriber, you're not just signing up for more content, you're joining a dedicated community committed to uncovering and dissecting the profound ideas and influential works that have shaped human thought across millennia. We are building a sanctuary for the intellectually curious, a digital forum where ancient texts meet modern minds. Subscribing ensures that you will not miss our subsequent journeys into the minds of history's greatest thinkers, guaranteeing you continued access to explorations of profound significance, all aimed at enriching your understanding of life and self. Furthermore, If you found genuine value in the time you spent watching and listening to this video, if its message struck you as important or insightful, please consider taking a moment to give it a like. This simple yet powerful action performs a crucial function. It signals to the YouTube algorithm that this content is meaningful, relevant, and deserving of a wider audience. Liking the video helps to ensure that these timeless messages reach more individuals who might desperately need to hear them today. People grappling with similar existential questions, seeking solace, or simply yearning for deeper understanding in an often superficial world. Your like is a catalyst, helping to connect those who are searching with the wisdom that might illuminate their path, acting as a beacon in the digital landscape. Finally, and with utmost sincerity, while we delve into the intricate layers of philosophical and existential inquiry, it is profoundly important to anchor ourselves in the practical realities of well-being. The pursuit of wisdom can sometimes stir profound emotions or anxieties, and it's vital to acknowledge that. For anyone who might be struggling with the weight of these profound questions, or indeed with any personal challenges, mental health concerns, or moments of overwhelming sadness, please remember that you are absolutely not alone. Support is available, and seeking help is a sign of immense strength, not weakness. To that end, we have meticulously included a comprehensive list of links to vital mental health resources in the description box below this video. These resources are there to offer professional support, compassionate guidance, and provide a safe, confidential space for those who need it most. Please reach out if you need assistance. Your well-being is paramount. Thank you truly for joining me on this profound, shared journey of exploration and reflection. Let us continue together to question, to seek, to learn, and to grow, always striving for deeper understanding and a more meaningful existence.